As the season reaches its final stretch, everything is on the line. Another striker injury threatens to derail us, but instead the team responds in the best possible way. Big wins, a long unbeaten run, and a finish that puts us right at the edge of Europe. We may fall just short, but this season shows just how far we've come. So like I say, we have an injury to our new signing from January, Zimas, and we've got some big games coming up ahead. And I'll show you all the highlights of the goals and just how well this team did. Because at the end of last season, we had a very poor run towards the end, and the last few games meant that we didn't push to where we were wanting to be. But this time round, we're sitting 10th, 41 goals, 21-9 against, 12 goal positive difference. And last season we finished 11th with 48 points. So that's my target. I want to get more than that. I've got 8 games left, 5 points and more goals. I want to score more goals because that'll be helpful too, to show that we've progressed. I just want to see progression. That's my aim at the moment. Establish ourselves and show that we are progressing, because this team has done brilliantly. And like I say, got a bit of an injury to Zimas, which is unfortunate because he is on a roll. He's playing quite well, but we'll see how people will do. I'll have to call in on Mason Burstow and Hegibo. Not ideal because they've played well, but they've not been scoring goals as we've seen throughout the episodes this season. So it's going to be quite difficult for us to get anything, but we do get stuff. We do get wins, and other people start stepping up, which is brilliant. Lovely to see. I feel I've made some right choices in the transfers and the transfer windows then. And there's some people that I may look to, like I said last episode, may have a look to sell, because they're just, for me, they're bringing the team back a bit, a step down per se. So it'll be an interesting summer, that's for sure. But I feel we've secured league status yet again, so we've avoided relegation in that sense. And we shall see how we get off in the following games. So summer's going to be quite interesting in terms of who we can keep, who we can sell, who we bring in as well. So very, very interesting indeed. And I've got some really good youth prospects coming through too, as you can see there. I'll probably go into more of those in the next episode, because some of them have turned out very, very good and had some good experience out on loans throughout this season as well. So I'm very happy, and see how we can integrate them in the coming seasons as well, because they'll be quite important. If we want to make it to Europe, I need some homegrown talent and talent that's actually homegrown at the club. So that'll be interesting for me, because that's somewhere that I'm lacking at the moment, because I keep bringing in foreign youth players because I keep bringing them in on the cheap. So yeah, it'll be a bit of a struggle for me, but we shall see. So, without further ado, I'll show you the goals of the games. And as soon as I saw Haaland on the team sheet, I just instantly knew Man City were going to win, because he is such a machine as a striker. Scores against us. He's like Kevin from Fulham. You just know that he's just going to cause you a lot of hassle, and he's going to get himself a few goals, which he did here. Converted a penalty as Burstow had pushed him over into the box, which is frustrating, and that was a 2-0 loss. But they high flying anyway, Man City, so we're leagues behind them at the moment, so it's something to aspire to. And then Martinez with an absolute worldie from outside the box there, putting us 1-0 up against Leeds, who have been relegated at this moment in time. So they're one of the first teams to be relegated from the Premier League. They've been in the Premier League for a couple of seasons now, so it might be worth having a look at some of their players to see if there's anyone that might be of interest, or someone that we can poach. And this was absolute terrible defending from us. I mean, we got 5 defenders in the box, and not one of them going and closing him down, and Leeds pull one back, 1-1. It's quite annoying to see things like that. I just think we've got 5 defenders and a keeper, and he still scores. Just yeah, very annoying. But it wasn't long until we got the lead again on this game. Martinez is a player that you might see scoring quite a lot of goals in these goal highlights, because he has been fantastic for us. He's had a fantastic season, so it's going to be very, very hard for us to keep hold of him, I think. It'll be a struggle. See if I can offer him a contract extension, perhaps extend him for another year. But what I have noticed is that because I've kept some of the players from when I was in the Championship and in the Premier League to keep people's wages down, I've given them like 50% sell-on fee clauses. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a difficult one to try and get back down again. And yeah, Martinez with a superb volley into the goal and put us 1-0 up. We drew 2-2 against Leeds, which is again frustrating because we were all over them, but sometimes that happens. And like I say, it's just a bit of a Martinez show at the moment. Link it up with Zimas and already putting us 2 goals to the good against Tottenham, who are in and around the European places. So this was quite a shock result for us. We end up winning this game, and we scored a lot of goals to boot as well. So I'm very pleased with that, and kept a clean sheet. So a fantastic game all around, and it was Zimas again being the provider, and Philogene and Martinez running amok on the wings. I feel like I've got a good front three there. And like I say, it's going to be difficult to keep hold of, because if they keep playing this well towards the, and like I say, we build up an undefeated run towards the end of the season, then teams are going to be coming knocking, going to see if they can grab players such as them and add them to their team as well. So going to be very difficult indeed over the summer to try and keep some of these players, especially with like the Saudi teams, because I feel like a lot of Saudi teams on this game, or my game save particularly, I'm finding that a lot of players are getting enticed, which is fair enough, but I feel maybe they need to tone it down a little bit, because I find a good player, develop him, and then obviously lose them to the higher wages that the Saudi leagues can provide. I guess that can happen in real life as well, but it's just, it feels like it's so frequent with me in the save and my team players particularly. So we won 4-0 against Spurs, which is a fantastic result, and then we were playing West Ham, who were also in and around the 8th, 7th, 6th place spots. They're having a very good season themselves, and I thought we were in for a thrashing when there was an overtop ball there for their striker, and he put them 1-0 ahead. But our team are quite resilient, and we brought this back from the brink of a 1-0 down, and Philogene scoring outside of the box as well. Martinez the provider, and putting us on level terms, and we come away winners. I think this is the start of... Is this the start of the unbeaten run? I believe it may be. I know we'll probably cover it later on in the episode, but I do believe I win quite a lot of games, which is pleasing in comparison to what we were doing last season, because like I say, we were in around like 8th, 9th position, and we just had a very poor form of games, and we lost quite a lot towards the end of last season, which was understandable, because it was our first season in the Premier League. So it was already going to be a difficult challenge for us, and we were already beating expectations from what the media had posted and what the board had wanted too. So the fact that we were losing those run of games towards the end of the season wasn't anything at all. I think maybe the AI, I think I might have mentioned it in the episode, like the AI might have cottoned on to my tactics, or the team just felt because they were safe, there's nothing else to play for anymore, so they kind of tuned down their mentality and wanting to win. But this time round, because we're in amongst European positions, then maybe the team have got something to strive for this time round, which is probably why we're seeing such good form towards the end of the season. And they've been consistent, the team as well. They have been consistent. As we beginning of the season, we had lots of 1-0 losses, so we were tight in defence, but also not scoring as many goals as I'd like. And then as soon as we hit the January transfer window and the team seems to have gelled all together over the season, we just seem to be scoring more and more goals, which is really, really pleasing, because that's what we wanted. And then we won against West Ham, and then we were playing Everton, who are 12th in the table, so they're below us, and Drexler with a mighty header and putting us a goal to the good. At this point, I should say that Zimas was injured again through that West Ham game, which set us back again because we needed him. he, like I say, he scored a goal and contributed another goal, and then we lost him through injury against West Ham, which is I did check to make sure he wasn't prone to injuries, because I don't want to spend a lot of money on a striker that's going to be injured throughout the season. So I believe this game ended in a 1-1 draw. Everton putting in one back. It was a great header by Pepe, and as frustrating as that was, it was a good result. And this is, yeah, like I say, this is our undefeated run commencing now. So we sit 9th, and we lost one game in that month, which is brilliant. So it was 2-0 loss against Man City, drew 2-2 against Leeds, who are relegated, 4-0 win against Spurs, which is magical, absolutely magical, that 4-0 win, 3-1 against West Ham, and the 1-1 draw against Everton. So that leaves us with May playing Aston Villa, Crystal Palace and Brighton. Very important games, and they'll be coming up after later on in this episode as well, so I'll cover those games, and then that's the end of the season. We've had a great season no matter what the results. Like I say, we're currently sitting 9th, and we've smashed that points target with 3 games to spare. Smashed the goal target as well, so I've got 51 goals, 35 conceded with a 16 goal difference, so absolutely happy with that. We're scoring, we're not conceding a lot, so it's definitely a lot of food for thought there, I think. And Bournemouth also relegated. Leeds do get relegated, sorry, they do. And then just showing you where we were the season before, or roughly where we finish if we was to stay on that point scoring. And Newcastle almost clinching the title. They've only a few games left before it's inevitable for them this season. What a season they've had. And as you can see, we've also got Crystal Palace in our lineup of games too, so that's quite important for us to bring that points gap down, because they're 5 points ahead of us currently, so if we can win against them, that'd be brilliant too. And the squad, I pressed on the wrong thing there, sorry. Yeah, like I say, Zimas out for the rest of the season, but we shall prevail no matter what. Have the faith in the other players to bring the goals for us, and then hopefully at the beginning of next season Zimas will be our main striker going forward then. So we played Aston Villa and we were awarded a penalty, and Engels comfortably slotting that into the bottom right corner, and Aston Villa not having the best of seasons again, so they're foot of the table yet another season in a row, so it's a bit of a struggle for them at the moment. So we're adding on more pressure to them to get something out of the game, and we eventually come away winners of this game too, with 2 goals. Like I say, scoring a lot more goals, which is brilliant to see. Very happy with that. Even though we've missing one of the key targets that we picked up in January, because Zimas has been very good. He's instrumental in terms of passing it to the wider men, getting involved in the goals himself, which is what we were lacking in terms of Hegebo and Burstow. They just weren't doing any of that, and that's why I changed it to a central forward rather than a target forward. But now that Zimas is here, it's unfortunate that he's injured, but now that he's here, he will be the main striker going forward, I think, for next season. And we'll have a look at having to see if there's any interest in Burstow and Hegebo, and then maybe having Gray or James Wilson, because they're on the loans at the moment to Coventry and Hearts, and Burstow sealing another goal, putting himself out in that shop window, if you will, and 2-0 winners against Aston Villa. And then we were against Crystal Palace. Like I say, this is quite an important game for us, and we do eventually come out victors, and it's only the one goal in it, and Peck with an absolute side foot of a goal from outside the box, reminding us why he's a good player as well for us. So yeah, came away 1-0 winners there, so managed to get the points down against them, which is great. And then we were playing Brighton, who were below us in the table, and Martinez again just adding to his tally. I think he's one of the top goal scorers for the season. He has to be, and top contributors in terms of assists. So yeah, Martinez is going to be one of those that is a priority of trying to keep and tie down for the team, because he's just so important. He's like one of our star players. So it won't be long before someone comes knocking for him. And then Andrey Santos as well is another player who has turned his fortunes around. We've started to play him more frequently, and he's shown us that trust with great performances. So I feel like I've got a very good midfield duo in Arne Engels and Santos as well at the moment. Very, very pleased with how that's working out. And then we've got Louis Leroux and Peck coming in on the bench as well then. So we've got a strong midfield group. And then it's just those players that we had from the championship season that we might have to have a look to get rid of, because Sam Tickle making an absolute clamorous error there, coming way off his line, and Rutter getting Brighton back into the game. But we soon put that to bed, which made me very happy, because it's always a close game when it's 2-1. Only one goal into it. So very happy. And like I say, Andrey Santos has been very good in midfield. So having a look at those players that I had in the championship, bought for like peanuts, maybe having a look to see if we can sell them on, because they're not I feel like they're holding us a little bit back. So that probably the likes of Sam Tickle, your McDonald, Burstow, Hegabo, who have done as well, but I feel it's time for them to probably seek somewhere else to play for the following seasons. And then Burstow 2-2, so that's only just up in his fee that we could get in for him. So that was the end of the season. That was the last game, and like I say, we had a very good undefeated run that had formed, spread over 7 games. And then when we compared that to last year, we weren't anywhere near that. So what a great form of results. Yeah, look, see, we were losing and drawing. So what a huge difference. Nice final push. And we finished 7th, which is fantastic. 7th place, but we weren't, and champions of Newcastle, we weren't unfortunately qualifying for Europe, because Nottingham Forest had won the Carabao Cup. So they took that place instead. So it's achievable. So I think maybe aiming for a 7th place finish, or maybe higher next season. And Leeds, Bournemouth and Wolves have been relegated, so I'll have a look at some of the players in their teams as well. Because like I say, it's going to be very difficult for us to try and keep hold of some of the players that have just performed so well this season, because other teams are going to be looking at strengthening their squad, having a look at our players. And it's going to be quite difficult indeed. So yeah, very, very happy with 7th place. Not to be for Europe, unfortunately, but maybe next time. And we've had our expectations for next season, so they want us to work within the budget, spend the transfer budget, and avoid relegation again. Which I feel we've done twice now, so third time lucky, absolutely. And maybe give us a bit more expectations next season. So we've been given 37 million. It was originally 40, but I upped the wage budget so I can have a look at how I can try and keep some of the players in the squad, give them better deals, within reason as well, because I like to keep a wage structure. I don't want them to go a bit too silly. And then, like I say, a lot of our players are already wanted. Benjamin Arthur, that stepped up this season, he's wanted, and I want to keep him because he's a really good centre back, and he's made a good partnership with Tim Drexler. So that's what I want to try and keep hold of, because they've been very, very important for me in the centre back roles. Q's been good. He had a very good run of games towards the end. And Martinez, like I say, he's just wanted by another Saudi team, which is going to be hard to try and keep hold of these players when, like I say, 16 goals and 6 assists. He's just had such a good season for us. And then Philogene, I'd like to keep hold of him too because he's such a good option on the left wing. Hegebo, I don't mind getting rid if Brest want him. That's really cool. I like that. Means we can offload him, get some money in. Joe Scally I want to keep because he's such a good backup option and maybe might be a good option on the left or the right. Josh Achapong, he played a good season for us. Maybe loan him out, get him some more experience, and he's still young at 23, so that's what I want. And then Norwich, Aston Villa are interested in Jamie McDonald, so maybe we can offload him to those teams as well. And then Brentford, they can stay away because Louis Leroux is ours to keep. And then another Saudi team interested in Burstow, so that'll be quite important as well because we might be able to offload him then as well and increase our transfer budget. Like I say, Stefan Zimas, even though he's played 13 games, 4 goals, 4 assists in those games, so hopefully he can be a main threat for us next season and make us push for that 7th place or even better. So it's going to be quite an interesting summer. I'll have to get my head around how I'm going to keep my players, as well as having a look at who I can bring in that's going to strengthen. And obviously, if I lose a player, I need to bring in just as a good a player. And then it was a loan roundup that was on Osakuma, Ashley Han and Wheeler and Mohammed Roger Wright, all playing very well. All my loans had very good seasons, which is fantastic. So that's only going to build them up and get them into contention into the first team. So I'll have a look at how much they've improved and maybe if they're still in the lower leagues below the Premier League in the terms of their current ability, then to loan them out again and maybe seeing how keep an eye on how much they develop and how they can help us going forward then as well. Like I say, they'll be good homegrown talents for us if we are to get into the Europe leagues. That's what we need, the homegrown club talents. So these are all people I'm going to be watching. And look at that, 52 games for Babu. Phenomenal, 52 games in a season, and he's played very well indeed. So very happy with that. So next time I'll show you all the transfers just before the Premier League season kicks off for season 5. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Stay cheeky.